Now at 10, area health authorities look ahead to the upcoming flu season and provide tips on how to prevent it. Plus, how the increase in prices for goods have affected food pantries. And the Carthage Tigers look to stay hot against the Nevada Tigers coming off a big win.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Flu season is now just around the corner, kicking off in October. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. The Newton County Health Department has only one case of flu reported so far. That's because many of the precautions we took to protect against COVID also protected us from the flu. Officials recommend taking the flu vaccine in October as it gives about a 6-month coverage, but also has time to kick in before more cases appear. People could take both a COVID booster and flu vaccine on the same day.
The last couple of years been very minimal. But then in some years the flu takes off and we have hundreds of people. So it's very hard to determine until that season kicks in and gets to going, which is right around the corner.
The Newton County Health Department hopes to have flu vaccines in about a week, but some pharmacies already have them available. The Joplin Health Department says they also have vaccines available right now. 70 high school students from 5 area schools are on the campus of Crowder College to get tested for tuberculosis. Access Family Care's mobile unit partners with the college to make it more accessible for the students to get tested and not have to go off campus. Students who will take clinicals have to get the test. The students are in the health science program through Del Reed Technical Education Center.
They will get a site injection in their arm. It'll bubble up, and then that is the area that they will read on Thursday when they come back.
According to an Access Family Care nurse, tuberculosis often impacts low-income populations. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice day for us today. The past couple days have actually turned out to be pretty good across the region. We have clear skies right now. High temp was 81, normal high is 78, so just a smidge above where we should be. Record high is 93, set back in 1952. And you can see over the past 36 hours, we've had pretty good weather. Lower 80s yesterday, 80, 81 for us once again during the daytime hours today. Clear skies. Not much is going on here. In fact, the entire Central Plains, we have pretty much clear skies. Dropping back, 58 in Carthage, 58 in Grove, 62 in Parsons. We're at 56 in Yates Center. And as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight, we'll drop back to about 52, 78 by noon, 83 by 5, a little bit warmer, high temp of 85 degrees. We are actually going to cool back down. We'll look at rain chances here in just a bit.
See you then. With the cost of goods and services high because of inflation, people have turned to food banks in increasing numbers, also pantries. KOAM's Jalen Banks looks at how one organization is helping in the fight against hunger.
Governor Mike Parson declared September is Hunger Action Month. The goal? To raise awareness to fight against hunger and food insecurity. Crosslines Ministries in Joplin is a part of that mission and serves as a food pantry in the area.
Yeah, so we have a lot of people in our community that we're already paycheck to paycheck, and then this year with inflation and whatnot, we've seen more first-time clients at Crosslines than maybe ever before.
Not only are customers facing challenges with groceries, but pantries as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky part. Not only is the cost of food purchasing up for the individual, but for food pantries, it's cost us a lot more now too. We're seeing as much as a 30%, sometimes on some orders 40% increase in the cost of purchasing food as opposed to what we were spending just a year ago.
They have also seen a decrease in donations.
Because of the effects of inflation, we're seeing less donations right now, especially from individuals than we have before. So it's a difficult time right now. We're having like individuals, like households, we're having to pinch our pennies and try to weather this time.
Despite the issues, the organization wants people to know that places like Crosslines are an important resource.
And parents, families that just really are struggling, and they just need help with so many different things. And a lot of people that come in here, they don't realize everything that we have, and they're very appreciative, and you can just tell a little weight's been lifted off when they leave.
In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Crosslines also offers clothing and various household items. Some Pitt State students got a chance to meet with real professionals today. The students met with the Joplin Tri-State Institute of Management Accountants chapter. They offer continuing education, networking opportunities, and professional development.
Faces again, and we're slowly building it back up. So we're trying to be more consistent so that we can see those faces regular. But yes, I was just telling someone a moment ago that this is my favorite event all year, getting to see the students, because I think it's the most important work that we do as part of the IMA.
The meet and greet was part of Pitt State's Student Night. Coming up, how Joplin High School looks to help students find their passions. Plus, a woman who bicycled with butterflies makes a stop in southeast Kansas. Getting a new officer on the police force is typically welcome news to a community. It's a little sweeter when that new officer is a K-9. Southwest City Police Department today announced their new K-9 Officer Rocco. Rocco is a special addition to the force because he's the city's first K-9. The handler says Rocco is going to be a very busy dog.
And then we started doing narcotics detection, which consisted of a lot of building searches, a lot of hide and finds kind of stuff. And then we went into his apprehension work, which was a whole nother ball game unto itself.
Businesses and private citizens raised more than $21,000 to help bring in Rocco and train a handler. KOAM is always looking to hear from aspiring journalists, so we're continuing a program where we air stories shot, written, and edited by local students. Well, this story comes from Joplin High School. An important part of the high school experience is taking part in extracurriculars. Many have no idea what's actually available to them. Jet HD's Andrew Myers explains how Club Fest helped students find their passion.
A few hundred students packed the Kaminsky Gym, all looking for students who share a common interest. They attended Club Fest, and William Keskamethi, a teacher here at Joplin High School, hosts the Jam Club, where they rock out after school. He explains how important it really is.
Joplin High School probably has the widest array of after-school activities of anywhere in the 4 states, and we really like students to take advantage of it. It's been instrumental in getting a lot of students familiar with Jam Club. A lot of students are really busy. There's so much stuff going on.
Elijah Neville, a senior at JHS and part of the Philanthropic Society, explained what Club Fest means to him.
So I feel like a lot of time people have hard times finding a club where they might, be comfortable or enjoy themselves or do something like giving back to the community. And this gives them an opportunity to not just see the clubs that are here at the high school and maybe get an idea of what they might be, but also to talk to people that are in the clubs. And maybe if you have friends in the club or if the people in there, really sell it and make it sound exciting, that makes it a lot easier for students to get involved.
As well, Dayton Watkins, who is also a senior at JHS and a member of the JROTC, believes the fest does wonders in getting people involved.
It allows us to recruit a bunch of people just randomly. There's all these kids coming by. It's easy to recruit everybody. Our program actually has been lowering an amount of people that we got, but Club Fest recently I've even recruited 4 people already, which is helping our program a lot, substantially.
Whatever your interest, there's probably a club for you. If not, you could create it next year. Reporting for Jet HD, this is Andrew Myers.
Pitt State today hosted a guest with a unique story. Sarah Dykeman followed the entire 10,201-mile migration route of monarch butterflies on her bicycle. She's the first person to do that, and today she stopped at PSU to share her story and speak about her book.
It's really empowering to see people care, and it's exciting for me because just me going to do presentations, I can only reach, a small amount of people. But with this book, I'm able to reach so many more corners, and I've gotten my favorite emails are the ones where they said, "Oh, I cried when I read your book," because that means, they feel what I felt.
Dykeman's book about her journey is called Bicycling with Butterflies, my 10,201-mile journey following the monarch migration. Joplin's Dream Theater troupe is almost ready for their next production. Later this week, the troupe's going to perform The Haunting of Hill House. It's based on the novel by Shirley Jackson about a small group of people who were brought to Hill House, which is known as a place of evil, in order to research it.
So it is an original Gothic horror where the house is the main bad guy or the villain, but we really kind of twisted it and we took it more spook house or haunt style with it than the true Gothic horror style. So you actually get to interact with actual ghosts. You will not just hear what's happening, but you actually get to see and have those interactions.
Sounds kind of spooky. The performances will be on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, all starting at 7:30 p.m. General admission is $15. A little bit later, Florida prepares for the landfall of Hurricane Ian.
Plus, our temperatures kind of up and down the next few days. We're going to talk about that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures pretty good, right around 80 for most of us for afternoon highs. Looks good right now. We got clear skies across the region. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. As we go through the rest of the overnight hours tonight, we'll continue to see the clear skies and very comfortable temperatures as well. We need rain. Look at our drought tracker. Now we got southeastern Kansas, parts of northeastern Oklahoma in the highest category. An exceptional drought, which is not good, and then extreme in the red, then you got severe in the orange. So we need some rain. Unfortunately, there's not much in the forecast over the next few days. Look at today. Today was pretty good. Upper 70s on the Missouri side, 77 in Pineville, 76 in Lamar. Then you hit lower 80s once you got into Missouri and also into southeastern parts of Kansas. Currently, it's very comfortable. Bentonville sitting at 61. It's 54 at Stockton Lake. Yates Center at 56. Coffeyville's checking in at 63. We have Miami and Afton right around 60 degrees. Let's go outside. Currently in Joplin, sitting at 58. Southerly winds are light. Humidity is at 47%. We have clear skies. Nothing going on here. Nothing really going on across the entire Central Plains. In fact, if we go west, no big storm systems. Nothing's heading really toward us that is, I guess, substantial over the next several days. We do have Hurricane Ian, which is now just south of Cuba, so it's going to pass Cuba in about the next 3 or 4 hours. Category 2 hurricane strengthening, clocking winds at 105. It's going to pass Cuba. Big national story, of course, by, let's say, tomorrow afternoon, just to the west of Key West, Category 3 hurricane. So the storm surge is going to increase. And then as we go into tomorrow night and then also Wednesday morning, rides up the western coast of Florida. Latest indications, it may take a little quicker turn in closer toward Fort Myers. So something we're going to watch as we go through the next few days, also with hurricane's big threat of tornadoes with those outer bands. Back here at home, we don't have to worry about that. We have pretty good weather. Temperatures are going to be dropping off into lower 50s tonight. Quick warm up, upper 70s by noon. I think most of us go into the mid 80s. 82 in Neosho, 84 in Welch, 84 in Chanute. So temperatures look pretty good for us tomorrow. Backing down once again, easterly winds back into lower 50s as we go into tomorrow night. Then Wednesday also looks pretty good. A little bit cooler. High temps mainly stay into the upper 70s by the time we head into Wednesday afternoon. 52 to start, 78 by noon, 83 by 5. Sunny skies all day long. High temp right around 85 for us tomorrow. 53 tomorrow night. Look at Wednesday and Thursday. Highs into the upper 70s. Overnight lows chilly into the 40s. And then back into the mid 80s by the time the weekend rolls around.
Love the temps, hate the fact that it's so dry.
I know, we need some rain.
Sure do. Thanks, John. The Tampa area is preparing for the wrath of Hurricane Ian, which could hit as a Category 4 storm this week. It's forecasted to strike Cuba tonight before strengthening in the Gulf of Mexico. Reporter Christian Benavides is in St. Petersburg, where storm tracks show Ian could make landfall.
Hurricane Ian blew through Grand Cayman Monday, but didn't leave behind much damage.
To be honest, this is mild. This could have been a lot worse.
It will likely be a lot worse once it reaches the U.S., and that's why there are lines of traffic leaving Tampa. Mandatory evacuations have already been ordered in some low-lying areas.
Please be prepared because this is a very big storm. It's about 500 miles wide, which is certainly on the bigger side as hurricanes go.
The National Hurricane Center predicts Ian could bring life-threatening storm surge of up to 10 feet in and around the Tampa Bay area. That's due to the storm's track and the high tide when it is set to arrive. Flooding is a major concern.
People are remembering the last storm that hit Tampa Bay, which was 100 years ago. This could very well be that next 100-year storm.
Residents filled sandbags as they watch and wait for Ian.
Nobody wants 100-mile-an-hour winds for 8-10 hours. So yeah, a little bit worried, but prepared, yes.
At stores, supplies of bottled water quickly sold out.
I came in for certain things that I really needed, but other things I'm stocking up for my animals and for me.
Already, some gas stations in Lee County have run out of fuel, and the storm hasn't arrived yet. Christian Benavides, CBS News, St. Petersburg, Florida.
Governor DeSantis has already declared a state of emergency ahead of that storm. Still ahead, Parsons dominated Baxter Springs on Friday to get to 4-0 on the season. We're going to hear from the Vikings coming up. And Carthage softball looks to get over 500 today against Nevada. Those highlights and more next.
The Carthage Tigers kick off the week on the road facing Nevada this afternoon. Carthage enters the game with a 12-12 record. These two teams have met once already this season. Back in August, Carthage beat Nevada 13-1. First inning runners on second and third, Alexis Smith slips it through the gap in left. Both runners score 2-0 Carthage. Later, Jenna Calhoun at bat. She hits it deep to center field, but Kara Phillips is there to make the catch at the fence. To the seventh, Landry Cochran knocks it into left. Calhoun rounds third and slides in home. Carthage extends its lead, and later in the inning, Youngblood pokes it to right. Cochran scores. Carthage picks up the road win over Nevada 6-2. Pitt State continues to climb the national rankings. The Gorillas hung on to beat Emporia State 14-13 this past weekend and are now 4-0 to start the season. Pitt State jumps up 4 spots to number 10 in the latest AFCA Division II coaches poll. The Gorillas are the highest ranked MIAA school. Northwest dropped from 2 to 12 this week following their loss to Central Oklahoma. Nebraska Kearney sits at 23. Big matchup for Pitt State this week, hosting Missouri Southern. The Lions are 3-1 and on a 3-game winning streak. Missouri Southern's Coleman Booker earns MIAA honors today. The East Newton alum is named the Defensive Athlete of the Week. Booker helped Southern to a 25-24 win over Fort Hays this past Saturday. He tallied 7 tackles and a forced fumble. He also recorded 2 fumble recoveries, including the game-sealing recovery late in the fourth quarter. We've hit the midway point of the regular season for Kansas high school football, and Parsons is a perfect 4-0. The Vikings have been voted this week's Performance of the Week. Parsons erupted for a season-high 61 points this past Friday. They handed Baxter Springs its first loss of the year in a 61-8 blowout win. The Vikings' offense is now averaging 49 points per game. They have faced some adversity. Parsons is dealing with a handful of injuries, but they haven't let that slow them down.
It's been tough for us, but we have to have that next man up mentality. Depth matters, and I think that's also how you practice and provide those second and third team guys reps and practice to make sure that they're ready to step in there in those roles. So we've got several guys that can step up that are backups right now and be able to play a crucial role on a Friday night.
We all have worked hard for it, and we've been out here every single day putting in the work.
The Chiefs are set to play the Bucs on Sunday Night Football this week. Now, Tampa Bay and the NFL are discussing contingency plans for practice, as well as the possible relocation of next weekend's game against the Chiefs in the event Hurricane Ian makes landfall on Florida's Gulf Coast. Coach Todd Bowles said today that the situation is being monitored, but that talks are underway about what will happen if the storm makes landfall near Tampa Bay. Bowles said one thing under discussion is the possibility of practicing in another city.
That's going to be difficult for both teams, really, because football teams get into this routine. You know, you practice, you think you know where you're going to play.
Right, and to midweek to have to shuffle everything as well is a little challenging, but we'll keep our eye on that so we have updates to come.
Sure we will. We'll be right back. Take some time now to honor a local veteran. Joseph Whitlock served in the U.S. Navy from 2005 to 2009. His hometown, Joplin, and we're proud to salute Airman Joseph Whitlock, our four-state hero. Relatively mild daytime temperatures, chilly overnight temperatures, and too dry this week.
It is. We're not going to get any rain, it looks like, this week. Temperatures tonight are going to be down to about 53. A little warmer tomorrow, 85. Cooling back down a bit, 77, then 78. Mid-80s for the weekend. Overall, it looks pretty good, but again, too dry.
Final sports note.
It's not too early to talk about the Pitt State-Missouri Southern matchup on Saturday. Pitt State ranked 10 in the country now. Missouri Southern on a 3-game winning streak, so should be a really good one.
Yeah, it's exciting. Both teams looking pretty good. We'll see what happens on Saturday. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.